So I guess the million-dollar question everyone's out there asking is, or thinking about is, what could a integrated solution between relational and Essbase look like, and how is it different than, some of the past technologies leveraging Essbase Studio? So what this slide here represents is one of the approaches that we've leveraged at numerous clients in regards to leveraging the powers of Essbase, leveraging the powers of relational, and integrating not only the Hyperion components, but also OBIE, the modules relating to Oracle, e-business suite. I'm going to take a few minutes to briefly describe this solution that we've presented and implemented at other clients. So at the bottom of the slide, you'll notice that we're essentially assembling the various relational data sources through a ETL tool, typically Informatica, and staging that information in a data warehouse or a data mart. To the left, to the right, you'll notice that we have HFM depicted. What we often do is we leverage that data that's been staged from your legacy systems, your legacy GLs. It could be a multitude of GLs, and we leverage FDQM to pull that information into HFM. So during your HFM processes, you're going to be closing the books, making topside journal entries, doing eliminations, things of that nature. We then pipe that information right back into the data mart, leveraging extended analytics against HFM. What that then allows us to do is assemble the data post-close, post-journal entries, post-manipulation back into the data mart. We often then pull that information, being the actuals, into Hyperion planning and leverage that as a starting point for doing forecasts, annual plans, budgets, things of that nature, and then also move that data right back into the data mart / data warehouse. What that then allows us to do is, with all that information, actuals, budgets, forecasts, journal entries, things of that nature, is also the assembly of your Oracle modules and things of that nature. It allows us one point where we can build a multitude of different Essbase applications off that relational data store. So leveraging Essbase Studio, we could create an XOLAP application against transactional data in Oracle EBS. Or we could do variance analysis between actuals that were closed in HFM versus your budget pull from planning, and then drill into the transactional layer that's making up those actuals. So this is our global BI EPM vision. And then on the top of this slide that you see here is the various reporting tools that a lot of organizations are leveraging. So sitting on top of architecture that is demonstrated here allows you the capability of getting to vast amounts of information. So why integrate Essbase with relational data sources? You're leveraging the best of both worlds. Relational databases have the near unlimited scalability, and you can store several terabytes worth of data. Multi-dimensional databases, they offer the sophisticated analytical capabilities. So we're going to leverage the scalability of relational and the conceptual power of multi-dimensional databases. So leveraging XOLAP, why would you do something like this? Well, think about it from this slide's perspective. You have end users changing the product's price. You have your marketing group changing an advertising timetable or updating their budget for radio campaigns. Your customer database is changing because credit limits are changing or salary levels are changing, things of that nature. By staging the data the way I had in that prior slide and integrating the data in that perspective, you have the capability of seeing, what happens if my inventory levels drop 10%? Are customers going to go elsewhere? Things of that nature. So what I wanted to highlight in this slide with the advent of version 11, we now have 4 different components that are available to us in Essbase that allow us to leverage that conceptual power. The first 2, or some might argue the first 3, can really get to that level of relational data. XOLAP is essentially leveraging relational data sources and building virtual cubes. Hybrid analysis is, again, leveraging a relational data source to access lower levels of data in your multi-dimensional databases by only storing the data at upper levels in Essbase, but accessing the lower levels of the hierarchies in Essbase by passing that query through into the relational data store. And then, you still have the aggregate storage option, which actually, when XOLAP is deployed, it's actually deploying the aggregate storage database. And then you still have our tried and true block storage app, with the essentially, great deals of flexibility in regards to developing allocations, calculations, and the reporting of data. So I guess another question that some of you might be asking is, how is this real-time analysis and ad hoc capabilities possible? Well, I put together this slide as a visual depiction of, what's occurring behind the scenes. The downward arrow is representing your transactional stores, constantly in flux, ever-changing. People are inserting records, dropping records, updating records. That data is stored in the RDBMS. So what's occurring behind the scenes when the end user is querying an XOLAP application is, since it's a completely virtual cube, there's no data stored in it. So when that end user goes to query a specific channel of your business, for a specific customer, to look at specific products for units, costs, sales, things of that nature, transactional-based SQL is being generated behind the